Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Patricia Stuart of Patricia Stuart Originals. I don't know about you, but I have some gel prints that some I liked and some I didn't. And because I'm down to the last bit of gel prints that I've made, I've used all of them. I'm a stickler for doing something with the prints that we make. And so I decided to do some paper mesh with some gel prints that I had left. For instance, I had this green one and I wasn't crazy about it. And so I started making mesh out of them. And simply what I would do is go on the sewing machine and take the sheet of a gel print, say like this one here, and I would sew it up on the sewing machine, going up and down and then across. And when I was finished, I would take it then and decide that I'm going to tear out some places in it so that I can have these holes that resemble mesh. It was quite simple to do, and I could make use of these prints that were left over. And it's a fun thing to do, is to make something out of your gel prints, especially if they're ones that you didn't particularly care for that much. You can use these when you're finished in art journals. For instance, these are the balance of gel prints that were left over in my stash. So I folded them in half and took some embroidery thread and just secured the center by doing a couple of stitches. And then I had some mesh that I put over the cover and glued it down. And you see the blue, that was the actual print, and then the mesh with the holes on top with its colors. And I glued it down with matte medium on both sides, saturated it with matte medium, it dried, it's sturdy, and it added something to the cover. And so this was just a homemade journal, so that something that I could use if I'm in the doctor's office and I want to do some quick journaling or mark making. And so I'm using these journal pages as a background to do some art journaling as a background. And so the other sides of the paper, we know that behind the paper is white. So I would take those and create a background with it so that I can then do some other journaling if I want to use ephemera, or I want to do a abstract piece with little pieces of paper, I can do that. But on the white side, the back of the gel print, I created some backgrounds with stencils and stamps and my distress inks. And this way I could come back and decide what I want to put on top of these backgrounds. And so that's what I used my mesh for, as a cover on top of where you could see other colors come through. And so if you don't have a sewing machine, if you want to sew by hand, in and out stitches going up and down and then across and tearing out your pieces. Another way of doing it is using some string or 2mm cord, and you could glue them in strips going up and down on the paper and then glue them across. I guess you can hot glue them if you want to, although that may make it too hard. But if you use a little glue, the matte medium or any type of glue to glue it down, your cords and across. And it will take a little while to let it dry, so it has to dry thoroughly and harden before you can start tearing out your pieces. But for me, getting on the sewing machine and running through them was a lot easier and faster for me. And I put holes in every other one, but you could do it as you feel what you want to do. The other thing that I did to them was to spritz them with water afterwards. This, you could tell, is just pretty dry. However, when I spritz them with water, they end up being softer, a little bit more pliable. This one I did in Ziggy stitching, and I wet it down when I was finished. And I did the same with these. And I used computer paper on these that you're looking at, except for this is, oh, I forgot the name of this paper. It's not tissue paper and it's not deli paper. Oh, glassine. I was trying to do some prints on it, and I ended up cutting this one with a scissor. It's hard to rip glassine. It's a protective paper that I use to wrap my paintings in when someone purchases it and I need to ship it to them. So I used a scissor. So you could also cut out, if you want nice sharp edges, use a scissor to cut out your pieces, or you can, you know, tear them with your hand. This is another one I did. I haven't wet this one yet. And I did a lot of wonky stitching on it. Now these are still damp. I did these earlier, so they're drying now. They're a little damp. Again, I just tore holes in them. So it gives a whole other look to your gel prints. And actually, this one I liked, but this one I didn't when I finished it. And so now I like it done this way. I can appreciate the print better. It's another one it's wet. It's in the process of drying. And I wet them down to take away the dryness. And even when they dry after being wet, they're still very softer, not stiff. You can bend them and fold them around whatever you want to use them for. And this was a print that just had a bunch of leaves. This was a print that I really liked, but I decided to do the mesh thing with it. And so that's an idea of using this. Now, if I wanted to, I could take a background page, and this has flowers. And if I wanted to cut a piece of this to fit, where I can glue the ends down and it can serve as a page over these flowers, I can do that too by just gluing the side down and cutting off a piece, cutting off these edges. There are different things that you can use in journals. You can use them on top of your already existing prints. You can glue them down on top if you want. And so it's just an idea of something you could do with the prints, especially if you find that there are ones that you weren't so crazy about, that you didn't particularly care for. You can create a whole new look and purpose for your prints. And I do a lot of art journaling with ephemera and other things, and so this works well for me. I'm always working on art journaling and telling my art stories that way. And so with the leftover prints that I had, this is the last of the stash. And I now will feel free to do some more gel prints. They were piling up, and I was trying to use them with my mixed media paintings. I was trying to find all kinds of things to use my gel prints. And so I finally used them up. The drawer is empty. This is what was left, and I said, okay, I'm going to make a small journal with all of these prints and make use of that. So that's an idea. Maybe you'd want to consider that. Thanks for stopping in today. Keep doing art. Until next time.